Hi and welcome to the channel. I'm Sam and this is the Crafty Blinder van build, and in today's video we're still building our kitchen. This is part 3 and I don't know how many more parts are to follow. Just a quick recap on where we are with the kitchen pod build. We've installed the fridge, the cooker and the worktop. We're now fitting the drawers. We're going to make some drawers today. We're also going to fit them, and then we're going to start adding all the cladding to make it look, to give it the finished look, and you know, hopefully you agree, it does look pretty good. I love this combo. You know, it's a nice change, it's something different. I had contemplated changing the colour of it at one point, make it a bit more silvery or grey, but it's just grown on me. So I'm not changing it and I won't be changing it. So let's get cracked on. We're going to build the drawers. We're then going to add the fronts and the locks and all the rest of the little bits that finish it off, and then we'll put these panels on as well. Let's get into it. Right at the very start of this build, I decided that I wasn't going to do anything that was too complicated, too unrealistic or beyond my abilities. So when it came to building these drawers, I basically decided I was going to make a box with a bottom in it. So I went down to Wickes, I bought some shelving, some lightweight shelving, and ripped it into the sizes that I needed. I then put a couple of pocket holes in the side of the front and the rear and glued them all together, and then added a bottom piece. It was that simple to make these drawers, and they are really strong and sturdy. For some additional strength, I added 6 screws on each side, 3 at the front, 3 at the back. During the assembly stage, I used a corner jig, and this kept everything lined up perfect. As before, I applied glue, put the bottom piece in place, and then nailed it into position. There's no need to reinvent the wheel. This is a straightforward box construction. As we go along, we always check for square, make sure everything's true, and if it isn't, you've got the opportunity to adjust it now. Once you've confirmed that everything's square, it's just a matter of going around and putting the last few nails in. And there you go, there's the finished article, a good sturdy base for what we want. A little problem I encountered: we installed just standard hinges that slid in and out. Then I decided to put push to opens on. So by putting the push to opens on, they were 3mm narrower. So on both sides of the box for the drawer, I've had to add in a 3mm packer. To hold the front panel on the drawer, I decided the strongest way, and probably the easiest way as well, would be to drill it and screw it on. So I'm putting 6 pilot holes through that are countersunk, and then I will attach the front panel. But I haven't really put a lot of thought in how I'm going to line it all up, and this was my next problem. So I primed it with screws and sat and done a little bit of thinking. You're not going to be able to see. You're not going to be able to see what I'm doing, to be honest. Let me show you. So we have the front all lined up and in place. Now I'm going to drill them screws to secure that panel. So it's a little bit awkward, and I've got no real way of showing you what I'm doing. So let's just set you up somewhere and you can watch. In all honesty, I hadn't really considered how I was going to secure the front panels. I just worked my way through the job, and when it come to this point, I had to think on my feet, and as the back panel was off, I could reach around and hold the front panel and drill the 2 centre screws, the top and bottom, Once these were on, it was just a matter of then adding the additional screws to secure it. So this should work. There you go. How good's that? Now it's time to just fit them last 4 screws. That's it done. You want to see it again? Perfect. Oh, so happy with that. I need to make a bezel to surround the microwave, so I'm going to let you have a little insight into my thought process and how I measure things and how I work things out. I even have this little quirk of writing measurements on pieces of wood, because it's harder to lose a little piece of wood than it is to lose a piece of paper. But this is how I get to where I need to be. There's my little microwave. I'm just marking up the gaps around it. Little off-cut of wood. Always good to use them for something and throw them all away. The first step in the process for me is to record accurately all the dimensions and gaps and openings around the microwave before I start considering the bigger issues and the problems that are going to arise from fitting this bezel. So what we've got there, that's 54. So we'll mark it down as 52. That'll give us 2mm clearance on this surface here. Now, where we go on here? So we need something to replicate that. So let's that is around about 33. It's one of the issues we have when I'm making this surround. Let's use this piece. So when I'm making this surround, this door is going to open and we don't want it to catch. See how it's catching there? So we have to make sure we'll leave enough tolerance around there you go. And this is where I start to try and resolve the problem that I know is there. When I create this bezel, if I don't leave a big enough gap on the left hand side, the door is going to foul it every time you open it. So with the use of a bit of a offcut of wood, I'm trying to replicate that and achieve the smallest gap, but a small gap that will still allow enough clearance for the door to operate and never foul or never damage the bezel that we end up making. Leave that 20 all the way around there. And 15. If we leave a 15 mil gap all the way around this aperture, we'll have enough clearance. Or we could just make it 15 on this edge and reduce it down to 10 everywhere else, which might be the way forward, but it might just look out of square. And this is how the decision process goes for me. I will try multiple things, I'll come up with lots of different ideas, and I'll slowly eliminate them by offering up material, see how it looks with a big gap, see how it looks with a little gap, flush right up next to it, and at the end I will come out of it with a pretty good idea on how I'm going to make the piece. And the other thing is, all this will be closed in, so there'll be no light shining through. Yeah, I think if we do it 20mm all the way around, down both sides, that will give us a nice finish. This one could come right up to it, to be honest. Oh, decisions. That looks good. Finished right up beside it. Can't do it on here for sure. But let's make a note of that. That gives us that 15mm gap. Just pop that back on there. Yeah, that needs 15 for that door to open. So that's lovely. Can you see that? Right, let's get on, get it marked up, get it cut out. Little tip, so we've transferred the markings onto the back side of the piece that we're going to excuse me, cut out. So there's a 35mm gap down that side. We've measured from the bottom to the top. We've also put the bottom mark on. This is the 20mm where the door's going to hinge. It's going to hinge on this side. So what I've done is that first mark's 20mm, this second mark's 22mm. So I'm going to cut to there first. If we then need to go a little bit closer, we can. Just gives us a little bit of tolerance, and then excuse me, I think I need a drink. Once we get this cut out, we'll come back, we'll offer it up and see how we've got on. But yeah, so that's all the measurements of this piece of wood transferred onto here. But as you look at that, these measurements are the different sides, because in reality it's the back side of the face. Let's get on, get that cut out. I'm in the process of securing the microwave bezel. So when the push to open drawers are used, it will all line up. So that's it opened, that's it closed, latched, and it just sits nice and in line. Beautiful. So we'll use some roller latches, top and bottom, and a magnet. But to keep it in situ, I'm actually going to drill some dowels from behind and put them into this panel, and that'll just locate it and keep it in the right place, stop it from shifting left to right. You know, you've still got the option there. Is it moving? See how it moves out of the rollers there? We don't want that to happen. So I know if I put the rollers on this side in correctly, it shouldn't be able to go left or right, but as a last resort I might put a couple of locating dowels. Sorry, just need to use my camera hand at the minute. Put that 3mm spacer back in. So yeah, that's this morning's job. So we'll get this side screwed up now, so it matches that one, and then we'll put the microwave. In the end, the locating dowels weren't required. I just installed the roller latches just a little bit further apart. This made it a really snug fit and awkward to get on, but once it's on there, it doesn't come off. It was then just a matter of tidying everything up, fitting the rear panel. That's held on by screws, 2 at the top, 1 at the middle shelf and 1 on the very bottom. I have to take the microwave out if I want to remove the back panel, but it's a small price to pay for not having screws on shore. You know, when I open this door up, it looks really good and I'm happy with it. I like it. And if that's the price I have to pay to take that rear panel off, it's an extra 5 minutes on my job. This is the detail on the bottom corner. It's stepped in as best we can, and I think that just adds a nice little finish to it as well. Better look. By the end of that day, I had the remaining drawers fitted, all the fronts on, and even the blank in place above the microwave. We had a really good, productive day. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. We're nearly there. We've got one more big item to install, and that's a sink. And that was as hard as everything else put together. I think there was just so many things to consider. And them clips that hold that sink in, they're a nightmare. Somebody needs to redesign that. Needs to revisit the design they've got anyway, because it's horrendous. Got there in the end. Broke quite a lot of clips along the way, but yeah, that's the next video and that'll finish off that area. Thanks for watching, see you again. Thanks for watching to the end. Without you guys, this channel will be dead in the water. Remember, you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at The Crafty Blinders. If you like what we're doing, please remember to subscribe, like and share with your friends. Until next time, take care and we'll see you again.